ever have a situation where everything felt good, like genuinely good? She was texting back fast, she was laughing, she was engaged. You walked away from that interaction thinking, okay, this is going somewhere. And then slowly, without any warning, without any argument, without anything you could point to, she just cooled off. Replies got shorter, energy got flatter, and now you're sitting there running the whole thing back in your head trying to figure out what happened. And here's the part that gets you. You didn't do anything wrong, at least not anything obvious. There was no fight, no bad text, no awkward moment you can isolate and blame. She just drifted. And that's somehow worse than a clear mistake because you can't fix something you can't identify. I'm telling you right now, this is one of the most common things guys experience, and almost nobody talks about it honestly, because the answer isn't always a big dramatic mistake. Sometimes attraction dies in the small moments, the quiet ones, the ones you didn't even notice you were fumbling. So in this video, I'm breaking down 7 reasons she's losing interest even when you feel like you've been doing everything right. And by the end of this, I guarantee at least 2 of these are going to hit different. Let's get into it. Number 1, the conversation became comfortable too fast. Here's something nobody tells you. Comfort too early is actually a warning sign, not for her, for the dynamic. Think about it. In the beginning, there was tension, there was uncertainty, there was that electric feeling of not fully knowing where you stood. And that feeling, that slight edge of mystery, that's what kept her thinking about you. Then something shifted. You got comfortable. You started texting like a best friend. Good morning. How was your day? Anything exciting happen? Every day. On schedule, like clockwork. And slowly, without meaning to, you turned a spark into a routine. Here's the truth. Women don't lose interest because you became too nice. They lose interest because you became too predictable. Predictability kills tension, and tension is literally what attraction is made of. You don't have to go cold. You don't have to play games. Just add some variation. Don't always text at the same time. Don't always ask the same questions. Have days where you're fully focused on your life and she hears from you less. That contrast alone reignites curiosity because she starts wondering, what's he doing? Why is today different? Let her wonder. That's not manipulation. That's just not being boring. Number 2, you made her the center of your world too soon. Bro, this one is brutal because it comes from a good place. You liked her, you were genuinely interested, you wanted her to feel that. So you made yourself available, you prioritized her, you moved things around for her. And it felt romantic to you, but what it felt like to her was pressure. Here's the thing, when a woman becomes the most important thing in your life before she's even earned that spot, something happens energetically. She can feel it. It comes through in how quickly you respond, how eager your tone is, how your plans always seem to open up whenever she's available. And the second she feels like the center of your universe, she stops feeling the pull, because the pull comes from you having your own gravity, your own orbit, your own things you're moving toward. A man who drops everything for a woman he barely knows isn't showing love. He's showing that he has nothing else going on. Keep your life full. Keep your schedule real. Let her fit into your world. Don't rebuild your world around her. When she knows she's a priority, but not your only priority, she values the time you give her so much more. Number 3, your texts lost all personality. Pay attention to this one because it's sneaky. In the beginning, you were probably different. You teased a little. You were unpredictable. Your messages had energy. They made her smile or laugh or think. She never quite knew what was coming next. Then, at some point, the texts became functional, just conversational filler. How are you? What are you up to? How was work? Nice. Cool. Haha. Dead. The conversation became dead. And here's what most guys don't realize. Women are not just reading your words. They're reading your energy through your words. When your texts feel flat, she doesn't think you're having a bad day. She thinks the spark is gone. She starts wondering if she was wrong about you. You don't need to be a comedian. You just need to be present in your messages. Send something unexpected sometimes. Reference an inside joke. Tease her about something she said last week. Ask a question nobody's ever asked her. Make her feel something, even if it's just a small smile. One interesting, unexpected message does more for attraction than 10 normal check-in texts. Remember that. Number 4, you started seeking reassurance without realizing it. This one is the silent killer, and most guys never see it happening until it's already done damage. It starts small. She takes a little longer to reply and you send a follow-up. She seems a little off one day and you ask if everything's okay with you guys. She doesn't seem as enthusiastic as usual and you start reading into it and maybe say something like, "You seem distant lately." You think you're being attentive, you think you're being emotionally aware, but what you're actually doing is signaling insecurity because every time you check in about the status of her feelings, you're revealing that you're not secure in yourself. You need her to confirm that things are still good in order to feel okay. And that is exhausting for a woman to carry. Here's the move. When her energy dips, you stay stable. You don't chase the dip. You don't make it a conversation. You stay in your own lane, keep being yourself, keep living your life. 9 times out of 10, she'll come back around on her own. And when she does, she'll feel the difference between you and every other guy who spiraled the second she got quiet. Stability is attractive. Emotional neediness, even subtle emotional neediness, is not. Number 5, you stopped having an actual life. I'm going to say this directly. If the most interesting thing happening in your world right now is her, that's a problem. Not because you shouldn't care about her, but because a man with nothing going on has nothing to bring to the table. No stories, no momentum, no energy. Nothing to make her feel like being around you is stepping into something bigger than a conversation. Women are drawn to men who are building something. Doesn't have to be a business empire. It could be a skill you're developing, a goal you're chasing, a lifestyle you're working toward. The actual thing matters way less than the energy behind it. The energy that says, I have somewhere to be. I have things I care about. My attention is a limited resource and you're getting some of it right now. When your life is full, it shows. Your confidence is different. Your conversations are more interesting. You have things happening you can't always drop for her, and that makes her want to be part of what you've got going on. Build the life first. The attraction follows naturally.
Number 6, you agreed with everything she said. All right, tell me if this is you. She says something, you agree. She shares an opinion, you say, yeah, totally. She pushes back on something you said, you back down immediately. She changes her mind, you change yours to match. Bro, you've dissolved yourself. Here's the thing. Women test. Not always consciously, but they test. They push on your opinions. They say provocative things. They take mild positions to see how you respond. And what they're really checking for is this. Does this guy have a spine? Does he actually have thoughts of his own? Or is he just going to mirror me until I get bored? A man who agrees with everything feels like no one. There's nothing to push against, nothing to create friction with. And friction, the right kind, is what creates that electric back and forth energy that makes conversations addictive. You're allowed to disagree. You're allowed to challenge her a little. Say, I actually see it differently. Here's why. Not aggressive, not dismissive, just real, confident, grounded in your own point of view. A man with opinions is a man with identity. Identity is attractive. Being a yes man is invisible.
Number 7, and this is the one most guys completely miss. You stopped being the one leading. In the beginning, you were probably the one making things happen. You suggested the conversation topic. You made plans. You moved things forward. There was direction and she could feel it. Then at some point, maybe because you got nervous about being too pushy or because you wanted to seem chill, you stepped back. You started asking what she wanted to do, waiting for her to initiate, letting things drift without a destination, and the whole energy shifted. Here's what you need to understand. Women don't want to lead, not in this context. They want to feel led. They want to feel like there's a man who knows where he's going and is inviting them along. When you stop providing that direction, the dynamic loses its structure, and without structure, attraction slowly dissolves. This doesn't mean you control everything, it means you take initiative. You say, let's do this on Saturday. You're the one who moves the conversation somewhere interesting. You're the one who doesn't let great energy die by leaving everything open-ended. Lead, calmly, confidently, without forcing anything, but lead. That's what she's waiting for. So here's what all 7 of these come back to. It's not about one big mistake, it's about a slow drift, a gradual shift from a man with his own energy, his own life, his own direction, into a man who's quietly orbiting her and hoping she stays. She felt the shift even if she couldn't name it, and when a woman can't articulate why she's losing interest, it's almost always because the man stopped being who he was when she first got interested. So go back to that. Go back to the guy who had his own things going, who didn't over-text, who led without forcing, who had opinions, who stayed stable when she got quiet, who was interesting because his life was interesting. That guy doesn't lose her, not like this. Drop a comment and tell me which one of these you've been doing without knowing it, because I guarantee this video just put a name to something you've been feeling for a while. And if you want to know how to actually rebuild that attraction once it's started to fade, how to shift the energy back without making it obvious, without looking desperate, I've got a video that covers exactly that. Go watch it, because knowing the mistakes is step one. Knowing how to recover is what separates the guys who figure it out from the ones who keep wondering what went wrong.